Hi, what's up everybody? Here's Matsaki again. Today we're gonna be playing Masashi from VulnHub. This was a fun box, easy level for beginners mostly, but as I always say, you always learn something new, right? So I've ran my nmap scan, and to tell nmap the host is already up and running. Tag SV to run a service version detection scan, and C appended to it, it's to run some default scripts to each of those services found, and tag N to disable DNS resolution, -T5 to speed it up, and the $T, if you don't know, it's just a variable that I defined earlier as in target for my target IP. So we have 22 for his OpenSSH 7.9 P1 on Debian, and port 80 for HTTP on Apache 2.4.38. And you can see that thanks to the default scripts, that the header is the version. There's a robots.txt file available, which, if you don't know, the robots.txt is just a file that helps the website to tell some crawlers what entries shouldn't be trackable or traceable, and which ones are not. I mean, which ones are and which ones are not. We'll check that out in a second. And we also have another default script, which is HTTP title, which says Apache 2 Debian default page. It works. This is the title of the fresh install website. I mean, page. Like, look at this, Apache. This is the title. As you can see, that's just a default script. So if we go to robots.txt, we can take a look at it better, and we see that for every user agent, and when they say user agent, they mean basically every crawler, even if it's a robot crawler or you yourself just browsing in Mozilla or in a Mac or whatever. And by default, Google will not be able to see SNMP walk.txt. Imagine this is just this is a publicly available website with a domain.com, something like that. Then we over Google wouldn't be able to find it. For example, if we were using some docs, Google docs. So let me copy this, go with that. SNMP walk, this is the first, and this is interesting. What else? Let me just copy this and SSH folder. And the other one was security, right? So security says, if it's a bug, then let me know on Twitter. This looks like just like non-related to the CTF in itself. SSH folder. What can I say here? I see, well, basically two SSH keys, one a public one and a private one. And they are, well, we see a username, SV5. We can try to brute force that later. We have a TFTP, which, if you don't know, you can Google it, but TFTP stands for Trivial File Transfer Protocol, which is TFTP. It's a FTP version. FTP runs on 21 TCP, but Trivial FTP is like dumber. You know, like it runs on UDP 69 by default. You can actually try TFTP Hactrix, for example. God. Well, that IP is from a VPN I'm using, so don't even try to hack me with that. And this happens, yeah, okay. And this file is an MP walk, which we don't have as an MP like up and running. And if I'm not wrong, SNMP walk is like, SNMP is like 111 over UDP. 161, right? There's even a tool named like that. So I'm gonna be preparing that, like a UDP scan for that port, and I can see here what it looks like, some services running. So we have a cron, we have a trivial FTP-D, as in I don't know what does, daemon, maybe like a service basically. And it says listen user TFTP address 1337 lead secure, and this is the folder, apparently the one we're seeing here. And a MySQL the service. So yes, so we have TFTP here and 161. Let me try, for example, here is VC, and let me try how can you scan over UDP. You can do something like that, but since we're already using an AS, we can just append it, right? So you can use P and 161, 69 and 1337. I want that. I'm gonna be using verbose mode. Oh, let me not save it, and let me use sudo. Let me go with that. Let's see what we get. In the meantime, let's just take a look at this page just to learn more for TFTP. Note, however, that this port also runs BitTorrent tracker. So let's read this while the scan finishes. TFTP uses UDP port 69 and requires no authentication. Clients read from and write to servers using the datagram format outlined in RFC 1350. Due to deficiencies within the protocol, namely lack of authentication and no transport security, it is uncommon to find servers on the public internet. Within large internal networks, however, TFTP is used to serve configuration files and ROM images to VoIP, handsets, and other devices. To do. Okay, that's not related, but yes, I think that was a pretty helpful explanation. So we may not have to brute force the service, so we might be all right with on that side. Now we can start enumerating here if we find it. I mean we can run this, right? But instead of doing it with 69, if we don't find it there, we will be doing it with 1337. I will be all right. Now, since it's UDP, that will take a little bit more time than if it were over TCP. So yes, and look at that, download, upload. So you can use Metasploit or Python to check if you can download up files. So obviously we want to go with Python. Now, in order to make things harder, we will be creating a Python script using this one, okay? And it will be a simple but useful script, just to learn some things. Okay, so we have 69 and 161 closed, and we have 1337 open. And what I like to try now is just use this and like that, and T5. What else? V? No, not like that. And instead of 69, 1337, sudo. There you go. So let's go and create our Python script. So I don't know, I'll try downloader.py. I'm gonna be user bin python3 if name equals main. That's the way every Python script should start with. Then call my function main. Now let's define this def main, and let's, for example, use download. Okay, download, but we haven't defined it. Let's do it. Def download, just like that. Let's import signal and sys, and from pawn tools import everything. No, from pawn, just like that. because I want to play with some login bars and all this stuff. So yeah. Now, if this RGB, but what about that? The length of that. If this RGB is to represent the amount of arguments provided to the script, it contains as the index 0 the very name of the program. So downloader.py will be the item 0 in that position. So I want to specify only 2 parameters. No, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 parameters, and I'm gonna let you know which ones are those. So here, you can use log failure. That's what pawn is for. Between a lot of things, obviously, among a lot of things. So log failure, I'm gonna be using usage. Right, usage. So Python 3, and I'm gonna be using sys RGB 0 again. This is the name of the Python script. And I want to get the IP, the port, and the file name, right? File name to download. And look at that, the nmap scan didn't give anything useful. So alright, let me close it in here, just like this, and sys that exit 0. The 0 is the successful status code of Linux. But yes, it just expresses that the program exited like successfully, not because of an error, because this is not an error itself. So we have that now. So again, item index 0 position 0 but 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's different than 4, then exit out. Now I want to go signal.sig and handler. This is the way we will be calling a function named handler, right? This is specifically just to be able to press Ctrl+C on every, not every moment, and any moment we want. So we can use signal that. Oh my god, I don't remember now. Signal. No, sorry. Dev handler, signal, and frame. I was forgetting it. And again, log failure. I'm gonna be using \n just to create a new line, exiting another one, and there you go. Again, sys exit 0. And let me remove the f or the f string since it's not necessary at all. So cool. Inside here, let me define some variables. Okay. Some variables. Which ones are those? So IP, I want it to be a string that represents the sysRGB equal position 1, index 1. The port needs to be a integer, and this is just because the way sockets in Python are built. It says RGB2. We want file name to be string sysRGB3, right? And I want to download and then IP, port, and file name, right? Now here again, IP, port, file name. There you go. And here we want to start playing with this one, right? So we want first to import tftpy. Now this is a library we need to install if you haven't, and I think you haven't. pip3 install tftpy. That's all you need to write or to type in your terminal. So import it and let's just connect to it. Okay. So what I like try to do now, and again, this is not like the best way a programmer should create the lines, but I'm just doing my best. Honestly, God, this is not copying. I don't know, it's not copying or what? Let me come here and there you go. Let me remove this and cool. Let me comment that out. And there you go. So here we're connecting, right? So I'm gonna be using here in here I will be creating a try, and I want you to try this. Okay. If there's an exception of any kind, then you need to log that failure. Connection error. Check the server connectivity. Something like that. And obviously this exit 0. Actually 1, because there's an error. Cool. And finally, I want you to do this. Here, you're going to be using file name, because that's the file name we want to download. And here again, file name, just because we want to store the file with this very same name, right? Cool. So here, let me just IP and port. That should be cool for now. Let me try to run it. Python 3 downloader.py. No module from pawn import. I mean, I had a problem with my Kali, so I needed to reinstall it. Let me see if it's like that. I think so. Yeah. So let me just download it. And again, there you go. So IP is gonna be this one, and X, let me copy it, and IP is gonna be this one, and 1337, and I want to download IDRSA, right? Because that's the file we have in here. So let me check that. And well, obviously needed to add different things, like, I mean, just for the matter of demonstration, let's do it. Like try log. I mean, let me define here e as log.info, I think it is, I don't remember. Downloading, I don't, something like that. And then just I need to do p status connecting with the server, p status, p failure. Not really sure if that's the right way. Actually, I'll just test it. And finally, let me just I mean, this is not like that p info, was it? I don't remember now. P status. Yeah, no, I was actually correct. Connecting failure p P what? P success. Probably. But actually here. P success file anim downloaded successfully. Like that. So let me remove it. Let me try it again. I have it there, client referenced, client download. Before assignment. P is not defined. P failure. Okay, let me do it here. P equals log info downloading. And let me comment this out. Client reference before assignment. Was it like that? Yeah. I don't know what I did now. I mean, it should work, right? Let me comment that out for a moment, this one. These 3 lines, because it should work. P is not defined. Oh my god. Right, in here. It worked. So there's some issue with bond tool. So bond logging Python, just like that. Oh my god. Duck. Let me try it in here. Such a headache, that Google search. Anyways, I don't want to make this walkthrough that long, so logging Python. I always look for this, and I read the documentation. It's actually pretty straightforward to understand. But yeah, I mean, I created this script before, and I don't remember. It's like log info. Look at this. Log progress. Is that what you want to do? So log progress, then P status, and then P success. That's all you want to know about Pawn for the login thing. But I don't want to keep delaying the video. So let me just download the public key. And it says, dude, seriously, the key doesn't work here. Try the other so clean here on index.html wing wing. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, so CEWL, it's a super fantastic, amazing, handy tool we can use to to scrape a website and get every possible word that can make up a password. So if I do something like this, so and -w as in word list, and save it as in content as dictionary, doesn't matter, you will see that it scraped everything literally from the Apache default page. Obviously this works better on some kind of blog, like personal blog. Some people just tend to use common password they use in their daily basis. But yeah, so with that, I like to try brute forcing for this. So Hydra, I already know that I have a username here, which is SV5. So let us go with that. And as password, this dictionary, capital P, because it's a file, not a single word. If it were like lowercase p, that would be the actual dictionary as a password. So, and I want to use my target IP, the server SSH. I want to use F because I want it to stop once it finds a valid combination. V because I want to see all the the choice. T16, well, it's not necessary, I think, but sometimes you wanna do it, and that should work for us. So that's brute force. We just need to wait. And actually, by default, it's like 16 already. 16 threads. So it wouldn't be necessary, but sometimes it is. So there you go. And there you go. We have a password. So let us just log in with that. And I'm gonna be using SSH pass -p, who is the plug, and then SSH, just like that. Yeah, right. SSH SV5 at my IP. Why isn't it working? Not really sure. Oh yeah, I know. I mean, SSH pass doesn't work at the first time because of the fingerprint. I don't know. So I can now Control C and then again, and there you go, directly. So as always, first thing every pentester does when access is gained for a system account, sudo tech L, right? And look at that. This is a super critical configuration because I can run as every user that is root ultimately. I can run VI, which is V for text editor, as in a text editor for every file in temp, right? So I literally can sudo vm literally whatever, right? And I have a V window, and I can colon exclamation mark bin sh. We have a shell, and we have a shell just as the actual user that was running it, that is root. So if I can cat root flag, there you go, we have root flag. So that's it for all. Again, beginner level box, but still pretty fun. I mean, it was interesting, right? Hope you guys learned something new. And that's a wrap. Thank you very much for joining.